Good morning and welcome. It's Saturday, of course, the 21st of June, 2025, and this is the beautiful game. It's quite a happy day to be here. It's a beautiful day to be alive. I've got two of the best guys I love talking sports with. It's T-Boy and Tiggy, Toyosi Afolayan and Toyosi Adebanjo. It is great to have you guys. How you doing?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Good morning.
You know,
good morning, Toyosi.
Yeah, you know, something's happened here recently. Maybe I'll talk to you about it, but I was talking to a friend, we're just talking about living in the now, enjoying it now, because all we have is now.
Yeah.
We plan so much for tomorrow,
Yeah.
so much. I mean, you're thinking about, when do you make your first million? You finally make the first million. When do you make your first 10 million?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't know what tomorrow holds.
It never, exactly. But while you have 1K in your hand, how can you make the best of life where you are?
10 odds.
No, stop it.
10 odds.
Stop it.
10 odds. In my mind, I was like 1 million odds.
Stop it. Okay.
Or 1,000
yes.
odds.
Or you do 200 odds, but you use 50 naira.
Why?
No. See that 1K.
If 1K is your total pot.
You risk it all.
Okay, no what happens. Maybe let's make a promise to the viewers. We'll teach them responsible betting. We'll have one episode. Maybe next week, 20-30 minutes. Let's talk about responsible betting. Because for me, it's not even a moral issue. If you're going to just lay down, we are just teaching that.
But Mike, hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
In life, if you don't take risk,
you won't make it.
You would not find out. You need to be able to take risk so that you know whether risk brings reward. Not all the time, but at the same time, you will not know. If you risk, wait, if you risk that 1,000 naira, you put 1,000 odds, you win like a million point something based on your bonus, depending on the bookie.
But you know it's going to be long.
It will be long, but that's what the weight, that's what the risk, that's what the patience and everything. And then if it comes, boom, you're seeing the boom and the trophy and the money.
I like what you just said, because me personally, anytime I do my hand like this, it's rubbish how to talk. So when you do the hand like that, I say, but that's me.
You don't like
me, but for her, she's talking sense.
So risk is not good.
Risk, eh? No, I didn't say risk is not good, though. I mean, I'm just saying that you should do it within some comfort. It's the same thing with trading, if you're doing forex or anything. If you have a pot size, or if you have a budget or whatever, if you have 1K, you cannot put everything.
That's what they say, go all in.
50 or 100. And there are times, it's not every time. Not every time. If you go all in, go all in, you will go all out.
Nah, you crash.
You crash.
And you go back
home.
So
we're saying that
go hard or go home. You go home.
I can't go kill myself.
Abi?
Outside it's so cold.
Abi,
It's great to have you guys. Great to have you guys. There's a lot to talk about, but let's start with Club World Cup. You just saw the highlights. Then let's talk about Chelsea. Yeah. Chelsea were up against Flamengo, and prior to that match, South America had ruled over the competition. In fact, in 10 matches, so against other opponents, South America had not lost. And then it was what is going to happen. And then Chelsea started, they scored first, and then birthday boy came in, Nico Jacko, and he's trending on Twitter. How do you feel when on your? I feel like in football, we have to consider mental health. This is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Yeah, that guy spent his birthday apologizing.
It's not same men that were bashing him. Same men, same.
They never said.
No. Of course.
That guy spent his whole birthday. He was sorry.
You see.
But what are your thoughts? Yeah. Chelsea lost to Flamengo in a match that they expected them to. They scored first.
The funny thing is, they were looking for a scapegoat, and Nicholas Jackson just made it very easy for them to pin that defeat on him, and then just use him as the scapegoat. It's as simple as that, because they were losing before he came on. They were losing before the red card, and it didn't look like they were going to get a grip of that game, or they were going to do anything magical to come back in that particular game. So it was not Nicholas Jackson's fault. He had the only fault was the fact that the incident or the tackle was malicious. I was seeing it again where we're here getting ready, and I was like, there was no way he was going for that ball. You can't tell me you want to stomp on the ball. You even hurt your ankle.
Yeah.
So it's dangerous, standing on the ball that way. So how can you go with your foot that way to someone's shin? That's too much. And I've seen something similar in the league when that happened towards the end of the season too as well. And I'm like, if you notice, if you look at the statistics of strikers that get red cards or malicious fouls like this, it's common with attackers that they don't know how to use common sense in tackling or trying to win back the ball. It's not in their DNA.
It's not common.
Yes, it's not in their game. They tussle or they hustle for the ball, but defending it and recovery, interceptions without causing a malicious or a cynical foul, it's not in their it's not in their game. You just have very few of them that maybe they go shoulder to bully you off the ball. Other than that, we saw this Son Heung-min's tackle on was it Andre Silva last time that the guy broke his leg?
Son Heung-min was crying
he was
so
crying.
much.
You know, you would know that
attackers they don't know how to tackle.
Yes, it's common. They don't know how to tackle.
This guy now, this is his. He ended the EPL season with a red card.
Yeah,
to get to the new season.
That will not play the first season.
So, and there's that call. You know, there's been that call for Victor Osimhen that has been going on. There's been that call. Chelsea fans have been crying. It's almost like the board. They don't just want to listen to them. But then they've got Delap. Delap came in, started the game. It was maybe a little bit. He tried, you know. And then, you know, this guy came back. Another red card. He's going to miss matches here. He's going to miss the start of the season. Is it time for him to go?
I think we are misprofiling Jackson. Even at Villarreal, where they bought him from, it was not a centre forward. Okay, even if you want
like
to say,
an SS.
Yes, supporting striker, playing on the flanks. He's more of this kind of person that wants to come, hold the ball, pass, run into space. You won't see him as your traditional 9. He's not a target man. He does not have the full profile of a centre forward. Whenever you see Jackson have a very good game, it is not from that centre of the pitch. It is either from the flanks or it's in the middle of the pitch, trying to pass the ball. Their first game, people say, oh, this is Jackson, nice and all. But put him as a centre forward, you would not see the best of Jackson. I think he's just somebody who's not having a lot of patience. If you want to mark the ball and you feel like I cannot, of course, rescue this ball from my opponent, leave it. But he wants to make sure that he corrects all his mistakes. And that's not how football is played.
To be fair on Jackson too as well, in that Chelsea setup, the old bashing from last season, he doesn't score goals, he misses chances. Yes, I will not deny that. He misses some clear-cut chances that you expect him to bury. And I feel also nerve play a part, because when you're seeing yourself trending on the papers, social media, every match day, it does a number on you that, oh, am I going to score? And that pressure is there that whenever I'm starting, I have to score. I have to come up with the goods for Chelsea because I'm the target man, I'm the traditional number 9. I'm the one who is supposed to put the goals in the back of the net. But statistically on the team as a whole, Jadon Sancho left the club with just 4 goals in the league. How many goals did Pedro Neto score? How many goals did Noni Madueke score? Aside from Jackson and Cole Palmer, and maybe
he was the best.
And maybe
goal scorer.
Yes, and maybe Enzo.
Non-penalty goals.
Yes, and maybe Enzo chipping in 1 or 2, and that was late towards the season.
This Jackson you're talking about, he has more goals in his first season than Drogba.
Bro, I'm coming. So, are you telling me, you look at City, when City won the league without a striker, the forward line and the attacking midfielders all chipped in with double-figure goals. And you're expecting just Cole Palmer and Nicholas Jackson to do everything when you have wingers that are redundant. They barely do their job. In fact, when it comes to servicing, aside from maybe Enzo Caicedo and Palmer, and even Nicholas Jackson, that comes into the midfield play to get the ball, to play the 1-2s, to play the hold-up play. There's nobody else making those tactical runs or stretching out other defenses so that I can be part of those people that will score those goals. But you're leaving everything to Jackson, you're leaving everything to Cole Palmer. And when these guys are not in form, there's a problem with the whole squad. There's a problem. Neto is not scoring.
Yeah, right.
Noni Madueke is not scoring.
So even without Jackson,
Sancho is not
even
scoring.
without that red card, could Chelsea have won that game?
No, they were bound to lose. Prior to the fact that
They're saying that they could not have won.
They led the game actually, and you could see from statistics that they had less of the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, but they were clinical.
They're making it count, right?
Yes, with just one.
Okay, talking about stats, let me just go through a little bit. For the first half, you understand, before the red card, Chelsea had a higher XG, 0.63 to Flamengo's 0.16. But they had 37% of possession to Flamengo's 63%. Both had 5 total shots. Flamengo had 4 on target. Chelsea had 3 on target. Chelsea had 3 big chances, you know, which Pedro Neto buried that beautiful was. Exactly. They had 5 corner kicks to Chelsea's 1. You know, passes, 83% of Chelsea's passes were completed up to 89%. That was first half. So first half, they did not have the position, but Chelsea were making it count. But everything changed in the second half. Now, looking at Chelsea, looking at this team, looking at what they've done, Nicholas Jackson, should he stay, should he go? Enzo Maresca, now there's that call again for Enzo Maresca. Would you blame that defeat on Enzo Maresca? Could you have done anything again? Like you said, the other guys are not chiming in. Enzo Fernandez is doing much more than he should do. The Nonnies, that should be giving me at least, give me one double figure, enter 10 in a season.
Well, Noni is,
you know,
of course, being linked to Arsenal. And yes, according to the papers in UK, it's been linked to Arsenal.
I'm not doubting, I'm just saying like...
But
it is sad that no forward in Chelsea can score 20 goals. Even Cole Palmer, who was saying, okay, he's the next thing after Kevin De Bruyne or whoever, he has not scored a non-penalty goal in 25 games. And it is not just Copa and this Club World Cup. To the season, he didn't have a very good season, if we're going to be honest. He didn't have a very good season. And the problem is the fact that he has the creativity burden. If he's not creating, nobody's creating. And you, of course, want to see your number 9 coming to do hold-up play. Nobody's finishing. The first time I could see Madueke score goals was, I think it was 4 goals he scored against Wolverhampton Wanderers very early in the season. After
that was it.
Yeah.
How many goals?
You know,
Pedro Neto, after a goal against Arsenal, how many goals again?
Yeah, wonderful.
They faltered to, you know, how do you call this in English?
I think
They flatter to the sea.
Maresca can do something to aid the squad.
Okay.
You already have Delap now. Delap is that your traditional English number 9. The Chelsea fans, I know they are overboard with the we signed our Hurricane and all those stuff. They are very fond of always linking.
The ones that are closer to me are still angry. They still feel that they need Osimhen.
I know.
No, the English, not
the Nigerian. Okay, yes, you are right.
The Osimhen sentiment is always there with
Nigerians,
we Africans and
Africans,
Nigerians
yes.
and all that, so I understand, right? And you know, and even some English guys too. They actually like Victor Osimhen.
Rio Ferdinand was talking about how Manchester United need Osimhen. And I feel like either one of those teams, Osimhen fits best, Man U, Chelsea. But we'll talk about that a little bit later when we get to transfers.
So Maresca can do something for himself or for this squad to tweak the formation into a 4-4-2 formation.
I'm playing with 2 strikers.
And go with 2 strikers. That's where you probably get the best of Nicolas Jackson.
Nkunku, no hope for him?
Nkunku said he's leaving because of the whole no playing time and all that. And but aside that, he's not even fit. Let's just say...
But he was fit last season.
Really?
That guy was not 100. He was always coming back from something.
Well,
he barely played, but he was available.
And he was available for a short time.
For a short time, but he was always going and coming back.
Exactly.
He was always going and coming back. So the 4-4-2 can actually help them. The only problem is, how does this help Cole Palmer? Maybe they play a 4-4-2 diamond where Cole Palmer will be behind those 2 of them, the 2 strikers. That would help him better safe. When both of them are trying to make those hold-up play, he can always make that late run into the box and chip in those goals and all of that. Make the likes of Madueke, Neto redundant because they've been rubbish, if I'm being honest.
All right, wonderful. Now, see that number you're seeing now. That number is not for regular phone calls. That means your network carrier phone calls. No. Call on WhatsApp. Now, we'll pick calls a little bit later in the show, halfway through the show. We'll start a number of your calls have started coming in. But please, not regular network carrier calls, WhatsApp calls. So pick up that number, 0802 0815247. Save it. You can send messages. Peter from Anthony says, Peter is asking, sir, I want to know Liverpool's signings. Peter from Anthony. Peter, hold on. In 30 minutes time, we'll talk about transfer stories. As I'm talking, Sopo are still calling. Are we blocking number? I don't know. What is? Sopo are still calling. Are we blocking your number?
They're eager to chip in.
Yes, call on not regular network carrier, but on WhatsApp. And it's not yet time. I'll let you know the time. Okay, let's see. Kadiri, you're still calling. Okay, so let's see now. Moving forward here. Okay, we're talking about how Chelsea are go, but let's look at the Club World Cup as a competition, the rest of the competition. Bayern Munich now became the first team. They beat Boca Juniors yesterday, and because of that, in some bookmakers, Bayern Munich, they've moved up the rankings when it comes to teams that can listen. But I found out teams are taking it serious. But look at Real Madrid with Xabi Alonso. Let's talk about Real Madrid. With Xabi Alonso, it's like the situation has been laid bare. I don't think Xabi Alonso has all the tools he needs, in quote, to fix Madrid. Now, Mbappe was not. They were expecting that, Vini, this is your time, right? You've always said you want to play for him. Both of them are the drag level. Okay, now, whenever it's not, they take it. So that let's see what can happen with reshaping this thing. Vini looks like that player that Benzema said, don't pass to him. You remember that Vini? That's what he's looking like. So. That 2021 Vini, don't pass to this guy. That's what he's looking like. Looking very average. Trent Alexander-Arnold came up. I don't know what we were expecting. But for me, it was an okay debut.
No, but you know that when it comes to duels, he's not the best.
Okay, exactly. So I don't know what people are expecting, but they're expecting to score a hat-trick. But it seems there's something lacking in that Madrid squad, and this might mar Xabi Alonso's managerial record.
So what do you think is lacking?
The cohesion of the team. The team doesn't look at that midfield. A midfield of Tchouaméni, a midfield of Camavinga, a midfield of Valverde.
Okay.
Can they go up against the Barca midfields, the PSG midfields?
I'm glad you said that.
You know, can they? Do they have that discipline? Look at Camavinga.
It's not a problem.
Camavinga is another, can be very rash at times.
Yeah.
Does he have that, that
The
mental,
calm person,
that calm, that, you understand? It's a lot. Tchouaméni, at one point, Madrid were even considering they might sell this guy if a right offer comes in.
There's too much
He has not lived up to
physicality
his
in
expectations.
Yeah.
Yes.
So with the Real Madrid squad, it's one common thing with the boards, especially Florentino Perez. Most of the time when I'm trying to be on the side of the coach, as a Real Madrid coach, take it anywhere, you have the hardest job. You know why? Because you don't come there and say, oh, these are the players I want that would carry out what I want to do. They give you resources
1,000.
and you make it work.
1,000.
It's as simple as that.
1,000.
That's not a good job.
But that's what she's stating is a fact.
They've been successful.
They've been so, yes.
That's how big clubs operate. They've been successful.
I mean, that's fact.
Not
Because-
exactly, but Barcelona is quite different, though.
That's not
Yeah,
true.
but Barcelona
That's not true.
has not succeeded as much as Real Madrid.
That's not true. Even Barcelona do same. Before the manager will come, they signed Griezmann,
Yes.
signed all these guys. I'm like, okay, this is
Yes.
what we feel we need, and that will also help
Coutinho,
not just
Griezmann, those also their managerial
not
signings.
just footballing aspect alone, but even value, image rights, all of this for clubs to make money. Because the clubs are not only just looking at footballing aspect alone.
Commercial.
Commercial value too that you bring in. So
How much is Bernabeu already making every year?
Back to Real Madrid now, in this case, where you said, oh, maybe he doesn't have the right resources. Look, Ancelotti was here for how many years? And he made it count.
He made it count. He did.
The squad was so small. The injuries were coming in. He was lamenting that he was glaring to the whole world that he needed this, he needed that. But he made it work. He won 2 trophies until last season.
Okay.
And I understand that, yes,
Go ahead,
there's no
coming from
cohesion. You look at Toni Kroos, a lot of people underrate that man a lot.
They don't underrate him again, no?
Well, because
They don't underrate him again.
where you see, I'm glad you said.
With the football
I'm
world
glad you
angry
said
with Toni
yes.
Kroos. You know
I'm
why
glad
we're
you said
angry?
again.
I feel Toni Kroos had 2 or 3 more years to give football.
That's the man for you. He doesn't want to play. He doesn't want a situation where you start telling him, oh, your time is up.
What they're doing to Modric?
You know, exactly. So everybody with that's life for you. I always say this. Football is life. How you live your life when you blow. We've seen players that they blossom. They are late bloomers. We saw Jamie Vardy. Look at the number of years he started winning trophies.
Carragher said leave football before he leaves you.
Exactly. So it's just very funny at Real Madrid that when you get this job, there's nothing like at United where Eric Ten Hag will come and say, I want to buy my players.
Demand.
Jose Mourinho will come, I want to buy my players. There's no room for that. Do you think we have money to spend and waste like that? You have to make good of what is on ground.
On this,
so for Xabi Alonso,
I'm with you on this
there's no
one.
excuse.
There's no excuse. You know what the job entails.
When you look, exactly, before you came, and I remember where he was very honest when he was being asked at the presser before leaving Leverkusen. He said, what works here would not work at my future, job. And I'm glad that for someone like that, he knows that. You know, you're coming to a club like this, you already have one of the best right backs in the world. In fact, 2. You have the experience of Carvajal and you have Trent,
yes.
the reigning one right now. And then in centre back, you signed one of the best prospects in Dean Housen. You have Asensio. It may not be the profile centre back you're looking for.
But I mean, for me, one of the best defenders last season.
Breakout defenders
Breakout
for Real Madrid.
And if you add
He can develop. He can become someone good, or who knows. And then you have Rudiger, the experience of Rudiger. The left back position has not really been settled. Maybe
Fran Garcia
and Mendy, of course,
Alaba,
the broken leg and all that. In midfield, you look at Tchouaméni, one of the best DMs in the world, maybe top 10
2 years
or so.
ago, lie.
You know Rich anymore.
Tchouaméni is not
If you
top
mention
10.
all the DMs, you will still be in top 10.
No.
It's going to be top, but it's
not.
not.
Still,
See,
I'm
you're
not
thinking of the
saying
Tchouaméni that Madrid bought.
I didn't put him in number 1.
Not the
I said
Tchouaméni
top
now.
10.
The current Tchouaméni.
Well, it's a matter of coaching.
If you play
you look at that.
I think it's because he played CB last season.
Okay, you look at that midfield. You have Federico Valverde,
solid.
Jude Bellingham. You look at Bellingham and Valverde. You talk about midfield. Who else do you want Real Madrid to bring in?
The coach said something during the week. He talked about somebody who can control possession.
Yes, no doubt.
No ball.
And what we've seen, what Real Madrid had the season they won the double, the Champions League and the Premier League, Spanish La Liga, was because Toni Kroos was still playing. If you notice, both Toni Kroos and Luka Modric were not playing together.
Yes,
it's either Toni Kroos is leaving the game and Modric is coming in.
Very true.
Toni Kroos was always starting games because that's the
Controller.
person that can control the tempo of the game. Are we going fast? Are we going long or are we going short? Are we slowing down the game? How are we playing? We've seen managers, ex-players wax lyrical on how Toni Kroos controls or dictates the tempo of a particular game. As I said, this man is so underrated, and you people are just knowing his value now that he has gone.
No, maybe because he's not kind of...
they say now when you come out.
Yes, now.
That time
and another thing, if you look at the era of football that we're in now, we rarely have controllers. You see how it's difficult to look for one. What makes you think that they are not
come
interested?
and take in Barcelona.
What makes you think?
In Barcelona, they are controllers.
They are none, except for what's it called? We're talking about Pedri.
Pedri is a controller.
He's not. He's Frankie De Jong.
Pedri
is more attacking, but that's not the argument.
No, that's not the argument.
That's not the argument. All I'm saying is, if you look at this now, you rarely see them. I was having an argument with a friend where midfielders of now, they annoy me so much. They give me the ick so much where you have to run into your attackers to give them a pass. Why not give him a pass, a 30-yard pass, or when you see it to catch the opponent off guard?
That means you don't have deep line players anymore.
You should always send the ball on an errand. But every time you are running and running and running before you give that short pass, like you've wasted the opportunity. You've wasted the catching your opponent unaware. You've wasted that already.
Toyosi, I get you on that one. Very, very wonderful analysis there, which I almost 100% agree when it comes to Real Madrid. Now, let's wrap up on the Club World Cup and look at the other teams, the contenders now. Who's winning this title? Very fast.
Bayern Munich for me.
There's Bayern, there's PSG, there's Real Madrid. Is there any?
You really can't tell. If it will shock us that it will come from another continent.
From another continent,
yeah.
Well,
because
it's a Club World Cup, and
it is.
Upset happened. Botafogo can try something. Flamingo, Fluminense, whoever knows.
PSG. What are your thoughts? I feel that that match came at the time. They had 3-4 people they're trying to rotate. I feel like this was the same thing that happened even in the Champions League, the league phase.
Yeah.
These things when they happen, they make you sit up. And I know that for PSG, this is big. They have a quadruple already.
Yeah.
If they make this a quintuple, they are set for making a season that can almost not be replicated by any club. Spain, they don't have 4 trophies to fight for. Other clubs have maximum 3.
Yeah.
Now they don't 4.
It's only PSG that can do 4.
Exactly, they don't fight. So I feel like that thing.
You can do 4 in England too now.
Okay.
The FA Cup and the
EFL and the Carling Cup, and then you do Champions League, and then of course you can do.
No one has done that.
No
before.
one has done that.
I'm not going to rule out Real Madrid too. We've seen how the club.
Definitely. How you
Perez
can't.
has always talked about how they want to be the first club to win this inaugural edition of the
This is big for
Club World
Madrid.
Cup, and we know that how much this money is and all of
the
that.
The winner takes $125
million. So it's a lot of money. And the fact that you're winning every game, that gives you $2 million in your bank
game.
too.
Yes,
so
moving on.
it makes sense. It's just their first game, and they played against Al Hilal. You
Wow.
look at that Al Hilal squad, they had João Neves.
European team.
European team. I was telling somebody, like, look, this is what South Africa wanted.
Yes.
And Saudi Arabia wanted.
Even
they
China.
wanted the level of their league.
If they had
Look at
Victor
those
Osimhen, they
players.
would have probably beaten Real Madrid.
Yes.
They would have. They would have scored goals.
Look at
they just
how
couldn't
China
score those
wasted
goals. They
their
just couldn't bury those chances.
Look at that team.
Milinkovic, Savic, and João Neves, Ruben Neves in that midfield, controlled everything. Real Madrid were nowhere to. No, there was no.
Cancelo was moving into midfield.
Jude Bellingham and Valverde were nowhere to be found. They were just chasing shadows.
That's one of my best matches in this competition. I enjoyed that match.
There was no fear. There was no respect. Everybody came here to play football. And the 0-1-1. It was a very good scoreline. Maybe Al Hilal should have gotten more goals because they didn't have a prolific striker. But they'll be impressed. Yes, they will be impressed that they ended 1-1.
All right, we'll soon take a short break. Let me read some messages and we'll take a short break. And when we come back, we're talking Falcons, Mission X, and of course, we enter into transfers. This is from, please drop your name when you are doing so that I can. You didn't drop your name. SOD. Well, let me just take care of it. He said, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. About Chelsea match yesterday, Maresca got it wrong. Why did he start with James at midfield when he has Andres Santos, Lavia? He goes on. Nicolas Jackson, we need to see me. Why European club can't spend money to buy African player? I don't really get a lot of what you're saying. This is from Victor Akpan. Says Club World Cup has opened the eyes of people to the strength of other leagues. Not open per se. We know.
We know the strength.
We know the strength now. We know the strength. All right. Dems says, good morning, Mr. Mike. Nice to see you. And Itoyo says, he's saying hi. He says, Nicolas Jackson has become a headache. He knows how to get negative attention to himself, which is quite true.
I don't think he's always looking for the negative attention.
And then Juma says, I love what the beautiful game lady was saying about Florentino and Madrid. She was philosophy. She was a little bit passionate about that one, so you probably might have an idea where her inclinations might lie. But it says, but if Alonso is asking for a midfield controller, I don't think he's asking for too much from the board.
I love what
Adejima said here.
There's this particular guy in the German Bundesliga that Toni Kroos
he wanted to bring him.
What's it called now? Referred and all that. That's Stiller. I can't remember his first name now. We've seen him for Stuttgart. He was their captain. Also did well for them. Won the DFB Pokal. But I don't know what was stalling the deal. I think they started from 40 million before people started getting to know him. And it looks like Stuttgart are beginning to get greedy and they wanted 60 million. And you know Perez. Is either he wants it for free or he wants it very cheap.
Very cheap.
So he's not going to overpay.
That era now, I'm hearing that there's a plan for Konate already.
Of course. He has seen that he works. David Alaba came free. Rudiger came free. Trent came free. It's working.
No, it's because they know how to build. They know that, okay, at least in the next 2 years, these guys are going to phase out. We need to bring
all right, you're talking about that. And Dal says, good morning, guys. We need Stiller in Madrid. He's more of a controller. Namdi from Enugu.
But the problem with Alonso and this midfield issue is the club are seeing that they have a lot of midfielders. You have Ceballos, you have Adagula, you have Valverde, you have Bellingham, he's a midfielder. Okay. And then you have Camavinga, 5 midfielders. And I'm not even mentioned Chouameni as a DM. I'm talking about normal CMs. Or attacking midfielder,
you don't have the
and then
profile.
you still want
you
still want to add Stiller, and then how do you make every other midfielder happy?
All right, okay. Good morning, TBG. We love your show and also waiting for info on the Super Eagles. Well, we're talking more of the Falcons today. We'll get to Super Eagles maybe some other time. But let's see. Quite a number of messages here. It says, Alade says, I love the show. Thank you. Liverpool signature waits just at the end of the show. Before the end of the show, we'll talk about the transfer market. A number of your calls are coming in. Okay, so Nico Jackson has apologized for his hard tackle. I won't crucify him. As a Chelsea fan, I believe we should move on. Jude from Ogba. Thank you very much, Jude. Quite a lot. You know what? We'll take a number of your messages. We'll take a very short time out now. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're talking the Super Falcons who are ready to go for Mission X. Toyosi is a very big part of that. That's T-Boy. All of that when we come back after this very short time out. All right, welcome back. I beg, Toyosi, now you go talk this one now. Talk as you go.
Why are you putting me on the spot?
No sports now. Only WhatsApp.
Okay, please. Call only the WhatsApp line.
Don't call it through WhatsApp. Don't call it through normal call.
Don't use your credit.
But use your credit. Use your data. But just hold on for the next 10-15 minutes. The last 15 minutes of the show. Okay. We'll open the line for you to call. Just hold on. Mission X, very, very fast. We are the Falcons are getting set for Mission X. That is the 10th title. Yeah. Just hold on. We'll take the calls very soon. But Mission X, what are your thoughts? Can the Falcons pick up this ticket? How prepared is the team for this particular continental championship? Well,
the team currently will be opening camp this weekend because they're going to play Portugal first in Lisbon, then head over to Morocco to play Ghana just for friendlies. Group games, I'm not going to be writing off our opponent in the group stage, but I think we should be having 9 out of 9. Algeria, that was in our group, we played them twice last year. We trashed them in Ikene and also here in Lagos. Botswana, the last tournament we played in Morocco 2022, we defeated them. And then we're going to be playing Tunisia also. 3 underdogs in our group. Yeah. We should have a clear 9 over 9. That, and then don't let me say if, by the grace of God, Mission X is something we want to do. We want to win our 10th title. And it's a call for Nigerians that come and support the Super Falcons. It is not only the Super Eagles that are used to
How do we support the Falcons?
Watch the games live on TV. Lend your voice, tweet. We tweet things from the Super Falcons page. We do a lot of things. And of course, you can make videos to say, okay, yes, I am with Mission X. It is not a promo or anything, but you as a citizen, you want to be proud of your country. Support the women. Mission X, we have Oshuala in the squad, we have Ajibade, many names that, of course, are going to be making their debut. This could be some players' last tournament. And it's a world where TV would show the game. If you have the money, travel to Morocco, watch the game. So Justin Madrigal's girls, they are ready to defend it. I mean, don't let me say to defend, to reclaim, because we lost our title the last time.
Wonderful.
We want to reclaim our title.
I also like to add that clients too, we can make that call to clients, to brands.
Yes.
Because we notice that when it comes to female sports, brands
this
are not always, you know,
something we should talk about.
Except when it comes to the men's sport alone. And not just the men's sport. You have this sport, females are involved. They didn't say men only. So please, you know, extend that same grace that you extend to the men, extend it to the women too, because we're human beings. We're doing this for the love of the game too as well. Not just football, cricket, what else? Basketball, so many sports that we have women that are involved and are, you know, breaking records. And you look at the women now, we're the most successful national team in Africa.
Sports,
our men are not even, you know, doing as much as... So what are we saying? So why would you not want to back us and, you know, put that support out there? Please, we're crying out.
Confirm. So Toyosi, please, if you want updates, you've seen Toyosi's handle, T-Boy. Please just give your handle where they can follow and get updates on Mission X.
Well, you can check me on Twitter, Toyosi for Lion.
Okay.
Toyosi number 4, L-A-Y-A-N.
All right.
Even on Twitter, on Instagram. The Toyosi Afolayan.
All right, please. He's very involved with the social media presence for the Super Falcons, and you get updates on Mission X and how you can support Mission X. All right.
Please.
Yes.
Why are we not also advertising ourselves on the beautiful game?
Yeah.
The beautiful game, obviously, we're also going to be pushing this, you know, massively. We're supporting the ladies too as well.
Definitely.
So
definitely.
we're calling brands and clients.
Definitely,
Toyosi. Come and, you know, support.
Come and support.
Invest in this.
Yeah, exactly.
Radio, TV. We're here for you, please.
We're here for you. We're here for you. Of course, you can always catch Toyosi Adebanjo, T-Girl, on Max FM Sports from 2 o'clock
to 7
p.m. Once you are done with this show, 5 good hours, Toyosi will be there. You'll have a much more time. Saturday and Sunday, much more time to call and talk with her. A few times you might just see me or hear me once in a while, but you can always catch her on Max FM. All right, so let's move over from that now very, very fast. Let's touch on, okay, very fast, before we go to, because we're on the show with transfer, let's talk the PFL. PFL nominees list came out. Mohamed Salah was there, Alexander Isak, there's Bruno Fernandes, you know, there's Declan Rice, there is McAllister, who make up that list and all of that. And it seems like, look, everything now is all about Mohamed Salah. Yeah. That's for the PFA, this thing, nominees list. Do you think anybody can contest with him for that particular?
Nobody. Nobody's close. It'd be an injustice. At least, even McAllister, who is on the list, you cannot tell me that he's the one behind that Liverpool title winning season. He's not the driving force. He might be part, but miles apart when it comes to quality and leading Liverpool to the title. So it's Salah's side too,
There's no argument.
There's no argument to that.
To win it 100%.
All right. Straight up. Now let's go to transfer stories. And very, very soon, once we hold the first 10 minutes, your calls, we will now take all your calls. Let's get to transfer stories here. Liverpool looks set. They've just added 3 players. There's talk. There's rumor somewhere of Isak saying they want to scatter the record again. Then there's talk of Ekitike, there's talk of Bakola,
Anthony Gordon.
Anthony Gordon was also in the mix and all that. And Liverpool look like, we've never seen this Liverpool before. Where did they get all the money? What is happening?
They didn't spend like this. They could get quality for cheap on that.
Maybe they've been saving money for a while now. They've been making sure
they've not been dropping money like
FH don't get money.
You know, but I mean, Florian Wirtz has confirmed. Does this make Liverpool much stronger? Can they retain their title?
Well, they can, but I still believe that transfers don't make you stronger. Okay, it might not make you stronger. Okay. Yeah, because we've seen few transfers.
Yes, we have.
Anthony, how much? Even Casemiro, you brought from Real Madrid.
Don't mind
how much? See,
transfers. He gave them League Cup.
Fair enough, and FA Cup. So basically, transfers can make you stronger. But
they don't guarantee winning titles.
Of course, no guarantee, because other teams can step up even without signing anybody. Arsenal have signed players before and then they got second place. City signed last season. What did they get? So this season now everybody's signing. Vert is not a goal scorer. He's not your striker. But of course, he's going to give you the creativity you want. That is when you can allow the likes of Frimpong advance to the front. So he's just going to be giving us by level.
So but are they stronger team?
They look stronger. They've replaced Trent with Frimpong. They bought in Kekes with the idea that Robertson would have to leave because from what I've been seeing from last season, Slot actually likes, there's this preference for Tsimikas.
Yeah.
I noticed it in the season and all of that. So it's going to be Kekes and Tsimikas, and then Robertson would have to leave. And I also saw rumors where Atletico Madrid are interested, 25 million pounds or euros for Robertson. Now you look at that midfield, the midfield is already settled. They're still going to go forward with Gravenberch, McAllister, and now the problem for Liverpool in midfield is Szoboszlai would have to suffer because you're not going to bench McAllister. It's
you're
not
not.
possible.
Yes, you're not.
I
think first team three is a
the
Wirtz,
profile of McAllister,
yeah.
you cannot replace it, and
At
that's
all.
not Florian Wirtz. So
At
it's
all.
going to be either Florian Wirtz, McAllister, and Gravenberch,
Yes,
or
that's first
they'll
team.
go with
That's first team
Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Florian Wirtz. So I don't know how he wants to do that one, but there's no how you keep a 100 million or a 160 million player on the bench.
It happened.
You're not Real Madrid. It's not possible. And then when you look at their
Not
attacking-
possible. Record signing for the Premier League.
And when you
Even
look
for
at
the league itself, you cannot keep their best, the most expensive player on the bench. How?
So you look at their attacking options too now. The fact that they are talking about Isak and Anthony Gordon is because they want to replace. They're trying as possible to replace Luis Diaz, but it's hard to get a buyer for him. Barcelona are interested, but they're not willing. Yes, they were not willing to meet the valuation
of him,
and they prefer to go for a much younger Nico Williams, who is Spanish, who will get into the team.
It's not taking too much.
Yes, it's not taking too much. It will be easier for him to slot into the squad and all of those stuff. So it makes sense. So Luis Diaz will probably still hang around till they find
that can be sorted out.
That can be sorted out.
All right, let's rush up through the other clubs. Somebody asked for Manchester United, somebody asked for Chelsea. What's the latest? Manchester United, Mbeumo. Now there's that talk after Frank Thomas had moved to Tottenham Hotspur. Mbeumo might be reconsidering moving with his coach,
there's Champions League also on the table.
There's Champions League also, so that might also be a problem, But then there's that talk of Gyökeres. What's happening with
Tottenham?
Gyökeres?
Like you already have. I understand that Brennan Johnson was in and out due to injuries, but anytime that guy gets back, he's always scoring goals. That guy is probably the reason why
they need a left footer.
But he's scoring goals despite the fact that he's a right footer.
So you're saying that they don't need to go for Mbeumo?
If they get Mbeumo, what will happen to Brennan Johnson?
Okay,
all right,
that's limited play. But I understand you. But at the same time, for Mbeumo too, if you want to join the Manchester United project, grow with them, help them, they get to the level where they start getting qualified back for UEFA Champions League. You can never tell.
Okay,
when the season starts, probably
we don't have time because we want to give a little time for calls. Let's do Victor Osimhen. There's that talk now. Victor Osimhen is a major talk in the transfer market.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Good morning.
The clubs are not going. We do have a call.
Well done.
You guys,
Beautiful.
Hello, good morning.
Hello. This is Michael.
Okay, Michael, you have 30 seconds, very fast.
All right. Please, I want to know there are plans by Chelsea to buy a replacement for Nicholas Jackson. He's just, in fact, I don't know what kind of a player that is. Okay. He's one of those players giving Chelsea fans, in fact, a sleepless night.
Okay, all right. Thank you. We'll get to that. Let's go from Victor Osimhen and then we'll open the lines for the calls just in about 5 minutes. Let's talk about Victor Osimhen. Now, Victor Osimhen, there's that talk now. Where should he go? The big clubs, they are not coming for him. What is going to happen to him? And then recently, has been around, a doctor somewhere put up something and said Victor Osimhen is eating anyhow in different places. No, I'm talking about the statement. This was a statement. Said he was eating. And he mentioned, and he made reference to, there was a reference made to Paul Pogba's situation, where as a top-tier athlete, you have to be very careful what and where
because of
you
the doping issue.
Yeah. Exactly, because you never know. The people might not even be intending to bring you down, but you could just take something that they do a test when something comes, and then you find out that this thing, that he should be careful. Is Victor Osimhen showing himself too much, or what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
So I actually think he is, but at the same time, I don't think he's doing anything too wrong.
Okay.
We as human beings, I don't think we are in a perfect place to I don't know how to put this correctly now, not to sound like you're trying to live his life for him.
For him, okay.
Yes. We have no right to teach or tell someone how to live
his life. Okay.
Because you are not there, you are not experiencing.
Well, he should be careful.
Yes, there's no doubt. That's why I said he is, and the he is for him to create caution. You can be cautious. You can still relate with people, fraternize with them, have relationships. They give you a call, oh, what's up, what's going on? But the number of access to your
personal
to your personal home, to personal information. It's becoming too much. And this is not a case where we're putting down other people for having access to Victor Osimhen. It's not a matter of that. It's a privilege to even have access to a player like that.
Yeah.
Someone who has grown from where now? It's not Ajegunle or Agege.
No.
Olusosun. We know his story, how he has hustled his way to the international stage and all of that. So I think he needs to just rebrand his image. Because just take a step back a little bit.
Because maybe that image is what is affecting the transfer.
I think so. Rethink this whole thing over.
There's more
to
what is affecting. Okay, I think the branding of Osimhen is what is very, very key. For Liverpool to be able to pay such a huge amount for Vert, tell me why they are not willing to pay for Victor Osimhen. It might not be the best striker in the world, might not be number 2, but I'm sure from number 3 down to 5, he's among.
Okay.
So why can't you pay?
I don't agree of number 3 to 5. I can mention top 5 strikers that are better than Victor Osimhen.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, well.
Mention. Let's go.
Erling Haaland.
Of course, I didn't put him number 1.
Harry Kane.
Okay.
True.
Julian Alvarez.
Okay.
Kylian Mbappe.
Okay.
Mbappe is not a striker.
He's a striker.
Why is he a striker?
He's a striker.
Don't say that. Don't say
I will
that.
not place
He's
him
a
as
What are you
striker.
saying now? He's a striker.
He's a striker.
There's no let's leave that
Okay,
up.
so
And I'll still put 35-year-old Robert Lewandowski. So what are we saying?
No.
Okay, all right, Toyosi, let's...
For me, basically, I think it has to do with branding and the kind of agent he has.
Okay.
Yeah.
The clubs are not willing to pay this kind of money for him. They probably don't think... It's not about the quality. They don't just want to pay. I don't think it's a problem.
You know, we're here the last time where I talked about the African tax.
Yes.
But I don't want it to be like, oh, maybe...
How much were they paying Sadio Mane before he left?
Yeah.
Even how much was Bayern Munich paying Sadio Mane? So the only person that is enjoying the privilege of being an African is Mohamed Salah. And
The Egyptians and the Moroccans, yeah.
They are the ones that are enjoying. So I think it is not... A lot of people are saying it's because of the issue he had with Finidi George, the online stuff. Okay, they might want to contribute, you understand?
Yeah.
But
that's not a major...
we have people who had bad attitude and still were successful. Balotelli,
of course.
Zlatan, they were successful. So it's not an issue.
I have bad attitude. I'm still succeeding.
It's not
Of course,
Okay, all right.
I don't know about having a bad attitude.
Let's take calls now. They've been calling. That's how we're wrapping the show. 08020815247 on WhatsApp. Let's see your calls now. Let's get the calls in. Let's get the calls in. All right. Hello. Is there anybody there? Let's get the calls in. 08020815247. I would answer your questions. Okay. So people were asking about. We had mentioned we were spoken about Nicholas Jackson. People want him gone. Well, we're saying that that guy has been contributing to the cause.
Yeah.
More other players need to contribute more. If you're saying you don't want Nicholas Jackson, they need to contribute more. All right? Okay, let's see. Do we have a call now? Hello? No, you are flashing on WhatsApp. What's the call of your challenge?
Call back.
Call back. Okay, let's just take it that our network is not good because, yes, I can see the calls. Please, not normal calls. Because are affecting the line. No, okay. Not MTN, not Airtel, not Glo.
No use credit call.
No use credit call.
Don't waste your credit. Just use your data.
Maybe let me say it like that now. Maybe that's why we understand.
Use your data.
But we do. I can see the calls coming here. Just once we get through, you can talk now. Let me get some messages here that have been coming in here. This one says, just say good day, sir. A good day to you too. Hi to you too. Victor is the right man for Man United as Rashford is no longer there. With Victor, Man United will be back on their feet. Believe this 100%.
So they are still sitting down.
They're sitting down. All right, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Talk to us, you're live.
My name is Rizzi.
All right, Rizzi, go ahead.
So it's about this Nicholas Jackson of a team of a person. That guy is really giving Chelsea headache. I really don't know what Enzo Maresca is doing about that guy.
Is it because, are you a Chelsea fan or your ticket? Is it ticket or you're a Chelsea fan? Okay, Chelsea fan, okay.
I'm a Chelsea fan.
Okay.
To me, I believe Enzo Maresca, Nicolas Jackson, and Sanchez, they have something in common that they are not telling us. Because I don't see the reason you Benji, you using Nicolas Jackson and Sanchez at the same time when you know the kind of people they are.
Okay, thank you. Let's take some other calls. Thank you. In face of
Chelsea
pain,
fans
yeah?
are not happy.
They're not happy.
Because they went into this transfer window with so much expectations.
Okay.
And Todd Boehly just watered that.
Just watered all of it
Yeah.
down.
Especially with their UCL sports, they were thinking they were going to sign big.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we do have another call. Hello?
Hello, good morning. Mr.
Yeah,
Mike.
go ahead, talk to us.
Okay, this is James. I just want to speak on the Nicholas Jackson issue. I think this is time we need to get like Osimhen in. We need a very prominent striker now. He has become like a nemesis for us. So yeah, so he did it against Newcastle. He has done it again yesterday. So I think it's time we get a good striker.
All right, thank you. Yeah, a lot. Keep the calls coming in. Just talking. You know, that thing, and that's what I'm trying to say. That, look, that guy, if well used and all of that, for now, he's the biggest contributor to the team. His goals or whatever got you to that position where you are at the moment. So you can't just toss him away. We think
It's
about
actually clutch. If you bring him from the bench and then there's somebody who can give him the kind of passes, maybe like a Messi Ozil pass, and he has to run. He might not score 20 goals, he might not score 50, but you see the clutch goals that you need him to score, he will score.
All right, we do have an call. Hello. Hello, go ahead, talk to us.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Mike.
Go ahead, you're live, talk to us.
Yeah, this is Fulani Sadiq.
All right, go ahead,
You're
Sadiq.
number one Manchester United man.
What's happening?
First, let me thank God I'm not part of this CWC.
Why thanking God?
So just thank God for me, because according to this Bayern, is it Botafogo or what was her name that played yesterday?
Okay. That 10 could have been Man U, eh?
I was just thanking God. Thank God. You know, there are some things when they say there is always blessing in disappointment. So this is what it means for us. That's all I have to say anyway.
This is a very honest
assessment.
Very honest assessment.
Yeah.
Very honest assessment. All right. Okay. Let's see if we can just take just one more call. Let's wrap up with one more call and wrap up the show. But I like that he said,
He said far away.
He said far away.
Yeah.
Thank God. You know where you position. And not like far when you're trying to reach ahead. Say no, we cannot play the level of football this is what we're playing at this moment.
Because they'll be in the news again. The social media bans, the social media meme, everywhere. They will just, be rubbishing them.
Is Amorim going to keep his job after this season? You think he can turn the fortunes of Manchester
results
United?
will determine if he will keep.
Yeah.
You think he can get those results?
No.
He's starting their first 6 matches. Manchester United have a very, very tough start.
They start with Arsenal.
They start with Arsenal.
Well, and that's the first time in how many years now? The last time they played 8-2 at the Old Trafford, where they still had Wayne Rooney.
Okay.
What year was that? I think that was 2013 or so. Can't remember, but yeah.
All right. Okay, we have to go to you. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all your calls. A lot of you got the call, but sometimes when he connects to get them and wahala. Thank you. Now, you see that WhatsApp number? You can send messages, save it. Now, we do have a group where you can easily have access to us. Once you save and send a message, I will send you the link where you can join the group. You can also hit us up on our YouTube channel, which you can see there at The Beautiful Game with Mike, where you see segments of this show and other things and analysis, and of course listening to the beautiful T-girl giving you incisive analysis. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. A big shout out to everyone who was a part of the show, from my director to sound to my producer Kenny, everybody, to my DOPs right here, to Superman Hezekiah, who was here, was doing everything. Don't worry, we'll do something to that salary. But then it's been a wonderful show. Thank you. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.